4-bedroom, 2 garages, and a boys' quarters. Our first occupants are contractors for Ghana Water Company, Dennis. And they live here. All of them live here.
Dennis would be nice.
Well.
Then the cognac.
Dennis, anyway, whatever they are called. Yes, and this is where they live. Yeah. If we go behind,
So that's a 4-bedroom.
That's a 4-bedroom. 2 garages and it has a boys' quarters. Yeah. Yeah, it comes out neat. Yes, yes. This one we are not going to plaster or do anything. We only use iron brush with pigments, with red pigment, and then it will look the same. Yeah. The bedrooms are upstairs. Okay.
One of the thickness of the wall.
Just that your message should take time instead of splashing.
The mortar on there.
I use brush to professional hazard.
We have a small balcony. Shower also goes in another section. This is very, very basic. Ceiling noggins is almost completed for
Why did you choose to use?
For the divisions.
For the bedrooms and the bathrooms, we will dress everywhere. The bathrooms will have tiles through, so
That's why you use
yeah, that's why we use this.
So if you don't want to use this,
We'll leave the tiles as they are.
so that's the matter of choice.
Yeah.
Could have used the same bricks.
But it is a little inexpensive
To use
to
this.
use this in the divisions.
To finish with the cement and yeah. No, it's cheaper this way. This is cheaper than the bricks. Yes.
For the divisions, I think it is. We are well.
If you want to use the same
Material, it's okay. You can. You could.
if you are not going to use tiles, you could as well leave it like that.
Yeah, but you see, in the bathroom, water will seep into.
Doesn't mean that you can't use tiles on the blocks.
On which one? This one?
On that one.
On the yes, we can put the tiles on.
So that's why we are asking.
Well, you see, for that's a periphery wall. So the outside has to show the brick, and then the inside will be tiled. That is why we're using these ones for the periphery. I don't know if we're tiling, what do you call it? Or dressing both sides, we would have used the concrete blocks. You get it? So the brick is supposed to give us the outside finish. However, this part is where the bathrooms are, so we'll tile. We'll put the mortar there and then tile.
I think are we saying this one is now cheaper than the? Is it cheap?
Well, okay.
No, is this one landcrete or sandcrete?
This is concrete. This is concrete.
And it's cheaper than the brick.
Not really. The brick is cheaper. The brick is cheaper.
Yeah, because the amount of cement that goes in is
Very little.
lower than this one. And even this, we even add a little dust to it. It's showing yes, we add dust to it. So
Yeah, but our
Asking
concern.
that this is just a matter of choice,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
if we have to use the system, we want to go the
Strictly
strictly, exactly, strictly, and then where we want to actually, we plaster it and then you put the tiles on them, because, sorry, okay, you've all made me to understand, or at least I'm talking to engineers. You go on.
For instance, if this is a bedroom, in as much as we are leaving this one there, we could as well leave this size also using the tiles, the blocks. No, the bricks. And then use the inside entirely because of the so that at least uniformity and beauty wise. That's where we are thinking. And the other issue too is perhaps there is some observation you've made, whether the tiles are not adhering strongly to
Not
it.
really. We thought we could, we're trying to do this as cheap as possible, and therefore, we blend this to that, but the concept is brick. The concept is brick, but then if I'm going to put mortar on this beautiful thing and then seal it off, why should I?
Yeah.
I would rather put it on this and then put tiles on it, yes, so that I save a little bit there as well.
But the other question I want polished than this from the machine.
Yes.
We can do it.
The molds, you change them at a
clean
certain
them.
period. And then the quality of laterite too also matters. Yes.
some of the bigger grains go through, and if you see the roughness, it's because the bigger grains, yes, are showing in those areas. It's the filtering.
But what I saw in South Africa was pretty smooth. Pretty smooth. And they have white sand. So theirs come out as though they were blocks, like this cement blocks and stuff, yes.
It's when you see it, like, you see that it's smooth, shiny, and that sort of.
Rough surface. Rough surface. Surface.
But what I'm saying, if we use the hydroform
Yeah, you
blocks,
can. You can. Yes.
Can't we?
Yes. It's possible. Yes. Yeah. It's possible.
because I'm just thinking that if we have to go hydroform, if we are going fully hydroform.
Okay, no problem. We only economize a little bit. We are building you a brick house, but maybe 80% is brick and then the rest is so that we save ourselves a little. But, it's possible. I mean, you can. Yes.
So how many bricks did you need for this whole structure?
How many bricks? can even lift one and see. It's very heavy. Yes. Very, very, very heavy.
Is it today's or yesterday's?
This is yesterday's.
And it take how long?
It will take about 7 days to cure, yes.
But you still keep on watering?
Yes, 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 definitely. When you water it, then you cover it.
When you get to the office, remind me to get what they use in there.
One street first.
Guys, they have
Employment.
and they've acquired some new skills, some new technology.
In it.
This is only the latter.
Yes.
So this is only the latter. Only the laterite, no cement.
Bigger grain. When it's fine grain, it will be smoother than this. Yeah.
One week before it's dry. The water is every day. This one, I know cement in it. I will put just 10% cement in it for initial.
From this stage, you make the screens according to what sizes you want. So this grain is bigger, and then you go to the next medium, and then you go to.
Where's your
The shovel.
So why did you do that?
This one is from around.
But it looks like practically everything goes.
Well, not really, because you see what
The target is some
Very big ones. You gather them where?
I'm sure it depends on where you get the laterite. Yes. If you have good quality laterite,
Have been so compressed into becoming almost a stove. That's why crash. Yes, it is. We have
there's one.
And when you we could still get some this and that is net that is smaller to get.
Try it and we can even still crack, but it will be expensive if you want to use power to grind.
No, that's. I was thinking I know there's a crusher that can crush some of these things. But the other one, the other side too, is making these holes smaller. Only that the work will be more.
Normally, it should have like a vibrator. You see? So when the crusher goes, it goes on it and it will be shaking.
and
then the overflow, the oversize will be going screen.
I'm sure if we give the concept to gratis.
They they'll have anyway with the mesh size, that also counts.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have, if you have it,
screen size.
yes, the screen size will also determine what you get. Otherwise, because these are quite big, and this is bigger than that one.
So you should get the final one than here.
Yeah, some people would know. Some are rubber, like the mining sector. So you have it vibrates, then the overflow.
Be sorting it themselves.
Yes.
My name is Antonia Webio. I'm the managing director of KAS Valley Properties. We're trying to build or initiate affordable houses for low-income people, lawyers, nurses, teachers, nurses, school teachers, policemen, soldiers, etc. That is with 2-bedroom. The semi-detached ones are 2-bedroom. It has a living room, a large living room, kitchen, toilets. It has 2 toilets upstairs. Each of the living room has each of the bed, as well as a guest toilet downstairs, and with mostly locally produced materials. This one we currently estimate it, because of the few things that the clients want to add, we estimate it to be around 65,000. I beg your pardon. Yes. To about the tune of about $25,000. Yes. Without, so many things like an air condition and, maybe furnishing the garden.
I think you give your apartments furnished.
Yes. All our apartments are furnished. They are fully furnished. Yes. Yeah, that is where we started from. But it goes up according to, us and what you want. Yes, exactly. I'll give you an idea of exactly.
More especially when, as a government, we have stated in our manifesto that we are going to use local materials in construction in a bid to give affordable housing to the low to medium income people. What is happening here is that as a ministry, we've decided to go into hydroform construction as well, amongst other technologies that we want to use. And we realized that KAS Valley
Properties.
Property, they have started this initiative, and so we decided to come and have a look at what he's doing and get more insight into it. We have worked a little bit further as far as the machinery and other things are concerned. But we will be also getting in touch with him to see how best we can collaborate, for a pilot project on some selected site that we have at Ridge. Whilst we await as a ministry for our own machinery to come, doesn't mean that we're not engage private people, because the demand is very huge. But as a ministry, also have departments or agencies. You have State Housing Corporation, we have TDC, we have Department of Rural Housing, and so they will be coming on board, and we'll be getting some of the machines, and then we'll be engaging people like him, and some other estate developers who will be interested in partnering government in providing affordable housing using local materials. As he clearly explained to us, we have 90% or 95% laterite, and then 5% cement, which from the way I'm seeing it, you don't have all the iron rods and stuff, so you can see that the the cost that you can actually cut. Yes. And also the building time definitely is going to be, lesser, reduced, because it's just the interlock and you arrange the blocks. Apart from the job that you provide for these young boys and women, and they acquire skills as well. So it's very interesting. The other thing too is like an area like this. He explains that he's getting all the raw material, the laterites from here, which makes it cheaper. So we are going to provide the bare finishing of a place, the basics, and then whoever purchases now, you will turn the place to your the way you want it. So as he indicated that they can provide the same thing for about 20 to 25,000. And we are sure that at the point we may be able to even come down, especially when you partner government and we give you some concessions, that you'll be able to come down from the 20s downwards, because as you partner, we will also be giving some tax reliefs and other things on equipment or things that will be used purposely for the project. So, and basically that's why we are here, to see things for ourselves. So you can see all the technical brains at the ministries, our policy, budget people, the director housing, we have state housing, we have the water directorate. So we came in our full gear to come in. That's why we said partner with the private sector. Okay. We have the other departments, and when we give, what we'll be doing as government is to help our state housing to produce cheaper housing for the people. As for the market, is there. HFC said they have such a big, huge clientele base, but what is on the market do not meet the demand of their clients. Understand? And so what is happening here is that we are assisting as other departments like TDC, for instance, or Department of Rural Housing, so that we can give very cheap houses so that all of us can afford. Because at the end of the day, you are going to take mortgage and there will be some sort of interest on the mortgage. So we want to give the basics and the lowest price as possible so that everybody, you and I, everybody can, afford it. And also we'll be promoting sanitation by giving decent housing. Once you give, you put in toilets and all the other facilities, and things become comfortable for you.
Yeah, so why don't you rather promote that? Because otherwise, you get to the price.
My battery is gone down. With my phone.
And this takes you into the car or the garage. We still have do you like the cross? It's nonsense.
This is
the second bedroom. It looks like somebody. This one.
Three bedrooms.
Modern building.
No, actually, when molding was actually you put what they call a drain so you can squeeze.
No, that's that's all. Yeah. Even here we give fans and we give air conditioners. So
we will know the prices in order these are the something based on the specifications, isn't it?
I mean, these are all imported ceramic tiles. This out, or if I can get even a concessionary rate of paying duty on this, I can put tiles, but then it will be cheaper.
We work on those.
Yes. Yeah.
You see the ministry, we work around it.
Try us for 200. 200? Yes. 200, I said. I want you to start a journey of 1,000 miles begin with a step. Start somewhere. And it is not, you're not going to give money to I go and drop them.
Okay, you didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that. We didn't say.
No,
At the end of the day, there have been instances like this. I'm proving to you that.
Can you also maybe make some changes in the bike? You can one set.
Yes, go ahead. Internal absolutely. So I want you to take a look at it so it doesn't.
I'm around the progressing load. Just around the slow payment.
Listen
After you have
after you
Definitely. So far as you are there, they are. I know you put that.
That is why I'm saying that the teachers block it. And see where you detach. And the same. This is the town area. We are the only ones who need to have the guest toilets. If you go to one night, you don't get guest toilets. You go to your room to use the room. Yes, but here we use guest toilets. And the family area everyone is big enough. This is the family area.
They have to fill it. And if you fill it, you must be able to period of time or the rumble. In fact, me and me so down here, I have my one bedroom.
We want to
Are you going through them?
Then we have hot and cold water running everywhere. The kitchen also has hot and cold water. Yes. So this is this one we said it candy for 120. Me, I said 120.
150 is they put air conditioners in the master bedroom and then the living room.
She's not fussy about those things.
We had, okay.
We are
So if you ask them to take it away,
yeah, we can take it away.
there is a price of
for the people who don't have housing. You don't even really care about. In fact, you start with
must do something about it.
Do you want to feed them? Let's talk about it.
We want to do something.
You call the house, you don't have slide, this is silver blades, and the normal closet, you know, vacuum can make it's water.
Awal is an interior decorator. She does everything about finishing. Oh. Everything about finishing. She's super. So she's finishing the restaurant. Come and have a look. And the middle class of the elite. And we're doing our bar from the teak and bamboo. There's the washrooms there. And over here is the kitchen.
But let me ask one question.
Yes.
I see you are using this.
So these are a number of shops we have. Pharmacy shop, we have hairdressing salon. The last one is occupied by somebody who wants to use it for wine. And come. All of you that came, please. Go.
biggest borehole in the whole Ghana. Because of
The desk. What is the desk? The yield?
the yield.
Oh, the yield.
What are you guys saying?
About 70 meters.
No. Go in liters, gallons.
Ah, okay, liters and gallons. So it's
Liters.
70 times 220.
220.
So let me do the
Do the calculation.
Don't worry, I have a calculator here. Come. 70 times 220
Yes.
is 15,400.
Yes.
Liters or gallons?
Gallons.
Per hour.
That's a
So
lot of
into
water.
liters.
So into
divided
liters,
by
you
4.5.
divided
No,
multiply
multiply
4.5. That gives you 69,300 liters.
Yes. Per hour.
But people understand
A
gallon.
minute divided by 60.
So divided by 60. So that is 1,155.
Is fair.
It was the one at the bridge.
And always there's water.
800 liters.
Yeah, you see what?
Adenta.
This is also
And it's
Perfectly, yes.
you can pump 24 hours.
Yes,
It doesn't
non-stop.
reduce.
No, not the table.
There's
You
so
want here,
much water there.
you see the terrain, you see those hills. And then the hills over there. All sloping. This is a valley.
This is where it all comes from.
This is a valley.
there's a lot
And
of
it
water
says,
falls
oh,
around.
huge riverbed under the ground. It's more than the sea. It's down under
That is true.
So this is what we should have all over Ghana.
We should have it.
you, the managers. Uncle.
Learn something today. God has called us to a purpose that is facilitated by His grace. It's by the grace of
This. I have an idea. Yeah.
You want to show you
Through the factory.
the factory inside?
My boss will do it.
Thunderbolts, and they flash with flying colors against normal visibility. We have kitchen with a design with the Ghanaian type of living style in mind. So obviously the designs that we had from our group of companies that we build many houses in Latin America, we changed them to be adapted. And that includes changing the size of the room, putting the storage, having enclosed kitchen for expansion and all that. So these are examples. This house, in 1 month from now, this house will be given away to the kids. This is one of our structural panels. So basically, it will always be hollow inside, and this, the being hollow in the middle is good for us because it's a good insulation for sound and temperature. And we run all the electrical and all the plumbing through the panel. Then we apply first layer of mortar, second layer of mortar. Finished, what we have here. These are ours. These are our panels.
When you step into the building, you realize the temperature is much cooler within the building than in the exterior.
But we'll go better, we'll show them the canteen. Come this way, we'll show you more buildings.
The structure can cost $200,000 depending on the choice of finishes.
When you put the mortar, yes, finish. So, something like this.
Like this.
This finishing.
Let's go to the canteen. I'll show you what we are using as an
right now
as a
in Ecuador,
practical.
like this, with this size, Walltech build every month 1,000 homes like this for the government. 1,000. In Mexico, 1,000 more.
We want,
Like this?
Yes, we want, that's what we want
Like
to do. So
this?
that when the people come in, those who want to put tiles, they put their own tiles. Those who want to change the louver blades, they change their own louver blades. Some will put carpets.
When they have
We have 2 lines of production. There's the automated and our
You can go, don't for this, okay? You'll see very light.
you put in the base. For the rural places, if you want, you send the panels inside. You don't need In the rural place, it's very easy.
At the end, one house is exactly something as this. No difference. You just take branches to build the panel, and then just apply the mud and the clay on the sides of the wall. The same way we do here. The difference is that we use mortar and steel, and they use branches and mud. But if we give these panels to anybody in any rural area, any village is capable of building this from day one. They'll pick it up very quick, and they can build their own homes. And therefore, as well, saving money in the construction.
Process have used hooks to put on the long span aluminium roofing sheets, so you have a choice of keeping your budget low or high.
In Ghana, yeah, but the same make one easy and quick.
So this is one.
This is what this is.
Yeah, but the question we want to ask is, if you want to apply ceiling to this, how tall the
headroom? That depends. Any design is different. I mean, again, we don't have a standard product, so it's not like we have to use our hands. The way it works is we bring up your own plans. Yeah. Break it apart and panels. We bring the panel that fits your design. Therefore, you're the one that is defining how high the extent of the room. The good thing is that we have big areas without putting any columns. Because it gives a sense that it's very big. Now we'll show you on the way back, we'll show you some of our demo houses. And it's a 36 and 46 square meter house. From now that I tell you it's 36, you'll say it's too small for anybody. Once you're there and you see the house, you tell me if it's good enough for a family or not. Okay? But by not using any columns and by having our walls which are thinner than the standard ones that are being used here, you get a bigger sense, a sensation that it's bigger, much bigger than what actually is.
Yeah, but I understand the vacuum you are creating in between the two walls for sound and heat. But the heat, the heat, that's what I'm not too sure about. It appears it's too narrow, too small, and we think actually it takes care of the heat, the insulation in it.
I mean, heat-wise, also the mortars being used commonly in Ghana, they're good heat insulators. The problem is the roof. Ghanaians are used to, in Ghana, you're used to using too much metal roof. And if you have a metal roof without ceiling and a good chamber, all this not only attracts the heat, but it traps it inside. Soundproof, not to hear absolutely anything, you could fill it up with material, with fibers inside. If you want it to be protected against any kinds of weather, you could put any kind of wool materials, it would be full insulator. That depends on your specifications.
You do not have columns. No.
They built without no experience whatsoever.
Units as they would use in Ecuador. This is their kitchenette. They have an open plan living mode of living. So there's their living area, their bedroom which is much smaller, and they are much smaller people. I don't know if you noticed one of the engineers in the factory.
Let's not offend anybody.
Yes, but they are very small people, and
you see them on
to install the equipment.
Very
small people, so this is their standard according to their building code. Ours requires higher.
Actually, you require
yes.
But the most important thing is that in order to make it more affordable, it's about size. 200 square meter house affordable. It will never happen. This is so we're about 20. And we're fitting in a 36 square meter house that has 2 full bedrooms, a bathroom, and a kitchenette. And what I mean to say is that if this was costing $12,000, which nobody can deliver $12,000 homes in Ghana, is there a market for it? Meaning, can people live in a $12,000 home like this one? We all want to live in a castle. I just cannot afford it myself. But maybe there's different segments of the population, and we need to target people for smaller homes. And then when these new young couples that are coming into the market, when they move on with their careers, they can either expand this house or sell it and move into another one. But this is probably likely to be the first step into
starters.
yeah,
Exactly.
and this house we can produce at $12,000, no problem.
Does it include?
It depends on how you finish it. If you, for example, Ghanaians are very skilled sometimes for a lot of things, including finishing their own homes and doing their own things. If we screed floors and louver blades, and we'll give it to you like this house doesn't cost more than $8,000. Yes. Just basic structured floors and louver blades. Now the question is, can we find land for 1,000, 2,000 Ghana cedis? Imagine that you can put in one plot, you can put 4 or 5 of these houses. And I'm being conservative, you can actually put more. So yes, you can put on the finishings, but if you want to make it really affordable, people it's our idea, it's the company's intention to put people in proper living conditions. And then later, in 2 months' time, maybe they have money and they'll put their own ceramics. Or they can call us back and we can always go and help them. But let's start from a position of people that are right now living in containers and they're living in wood sheds, and provide them with houses they can afford with the salaries.
So they can choose what kind of fitting they. You have a fitting of 10,000 cedis, and another that costing 50,000 cedis. So he can choose to start with a 1 CD costing fitting, and then improve upon himself. And that's how. So with doing that, we can strip this building from costing $12,000 to as low as $7,000, leaving just a plastered wall finish, screeded floor, and louver blades. No ceiling, nothing else.
Regarding for rural programs, you can even go further. Meaning you can even make it even a little smaller, just supply the panels, and they'll build themselves in the villages. And that's 1,000 away.
Ahora podemos entendernos mejor.
Entonces lo que muestra, también que contra la arena. Which makes it much stronger. Okay, this is an impact. It was been produced with sand. These are walls. So by using quarry dust, we'll make it much stronger.
And this one is what? This
use
sand.
sand. And this same thing happens with all those bricks. That 90% of the bricks in Ghana are sand bricks. This is what happens to them.
¿Cuántas casas se pueden hacer en un año?
5.000. Sí, o sea, el problema nuestro no es la producción de paneles. El problema nuestro es que si, por ejemplo, viene el gobierno y dice, hazme 1.000 casas al año, yo necesito, yo voy a poner...
My name is Eric Jene. I'm this.
I thought you wait for her to come and the two of them will sit down. No, you should be...
This Walltech, eh?
Walltech.
Walltech.
No, Walltech Ghana.
Walltech Ghana.
Inside of Walltech Ghana have...
As a government, we've said we want to give affordable housing to the people. And we are looking at all the various technologies so that we can come to a decision as to which one it will be cheaper for us and faster. I think today, earlier on, we visited the Hadraform site. And then we've come to this place, we've seen what it's made of, the buildings that we are standing by here right now. And the use of cement has also come down in this one. And if you look at the price, and it's something that a lot of us can afford. And the production time is very, very short. We've been told that you use 7 days. Is it 7 days?
So between 5 and 7 days.
Between 5 and 7 days to put up what we saw as a restaurant or something. And the office that we saw in the factory, they said 3 days. And we are being told that they can't give us about 1,500 homes in a month. So basically, that's why we came here. And we are really looking forward to, partnering with you, or you coming to partner with government. And as you sit and we advance in our discussions, government to also put on table what we have.
Perfect.
To see how best we can all help to give housing to the people, because in fact we're in a deficit of about 1 million, and we need to produce homes fast to give homes to people. There are a lot of people in need of homes, and we even need homes to, house our own workers. So
And we can.
Various things. Not the police, the teachers, the health workers, the military. So I think that there's a lot that we can do together.
Okay. Levels well below the current market in Ghana. We can produce a home in about 6-7 days and deliver the keys of a fully finished house. And meaning that people can buy the panels and build the same house as they used to do in rural areas in Ghana. Yes, basically our product is, the most important thing is that it's very fast to produce. Also can withstand earthquakes well above 8.0 in the Richter scale, which is very important. We have all seen what happened in Haiti recently over the last week, and God forbid there's ever going to be a problem in Ghana similar. But in 1939 you had a 6.4 in the Richter scale earthquake in Ghana. If that happened today with the amount of buildings you had today, you would have a huge problem. So it's very important to produce structurally sound and earthquake-proof buildings. By producing it very fast and building it very fast, we take away the most expensive part of constructing in Ghana, which is time. The scarce of liquidity, the amount of interest that it costs for the mortgages and for the financing of any production. We can save all this money by producing a house in 7 days instead of 6 months or a full year. No. In the case there is an earthquake, our test in similar countries where they care a lot about earthquakes, which is we have group family of companies that belong to our group in Ecuador, Peru, where they have earthquakes every year. They've been able to test earthquakes well above 8.0 in the Richter scale in test. And then all the buildings up to 4 stories can withhold those earthquakes. We've even tried earthquakes all the way up to 9.8 in the Richter scale, and they can withstand it.
So
Yes, I'm Eric Jene. I'm the CEO of Walltech Ghana. Está comprobando de que esté todo correctamente puesto. ¿Yo qué? ¿Ya? Esta que son, cuidado que quema. La soldadura es perfecta. La soldadura es perfecta. A la máquina de paneles se colocan muchas de estas y va tejiendo un panel. Ahora pones una varilla arriba y otra abajo. You're good? Está en perfecto estado de camera on the outside, camera on the inside, and we run a simulation. It goes all the way up to, I think, 9.0 in the Richter scale. So you'll see now it's starting to move forward. You'll see at the same time. So what's happening here is happening here on the inside at the same time. Now you start to see the building shaking. Moving forward a little bit. You'll see the water starting to move. And we have a machine that rocks the building. It's 4 stories, no foundation. Same spot. Okay. So this is what's happening on the outside of the building, this is what's happening on the inside. This tower is not actually touching, it just, with these sensors, it calculates how much is the movement, and it goes up to 8.8, I think 9.0, 8.5, 9.0 in the Richter scale. And this is what's happening on the inside. This is an earthquake. But the building, no cracks, nothing. The building is perfect.
What happened in Haiti?
It's 7 in Haiti.
Haiti was 7. It goes all the way to up to 9. But in Ghana you had a 6.4 in 1939. In 1939 you had very little structures in Accra. You have the same earthquake right now in Accra. You have a huge problem because all the victims will come not from the house itself but from the bricks. All these huge bricks falling on top of people. This is what's going to cause all the victims. In our case, because the steel panels are always interlocked, it can never fall. The whole house can rock, but it will never collapse.
No. It's a 4-story.
It's a 4-story building.
And in this case, it's very straight, the building. No, it's muy estrecho.
Yes. It's a building that has very little stability because it's very tall with a very small base. These are sensors that we put the building to calculate how much is moving. In this case, you should know that the people you're going to see in this video, this is 3.5 in the Richter scale, small earthquake. You can see the water going all the way up. We go all the way to 8.0 in the Richter scale. These are ministers of Angola and India. And for us to risk the life of a minister and put him on top of a building while we test an earthquake is because we're very sure that our building cannot collapse.
Aquí le hemos montado sin consenso con el gobierno, ¿entiendes? Con un riesgo mayor.
Un riesgo.
¿Entiendes? Aquí estamos corriendo un riesgo de inversión. En Angola se ha montado una fábrica para hacer 26.000 viviendas al año con un contrato firmado de seguridad de pago. Aquí decidimos venir porque veíamos un mercado muy atractivo sin contar con el gobierno. Nos arriesgamos, sabemos, llevamos un año y medio aquí. Sabemos que es un riesgo.
Hollow industrial grade 4-inch block next to our panel. So this, we put a big weight, 27 kilograms, and we throw it, and then it collapses. If you're able to collapse here in the middle, and there's no column here, all the this same impact on our wall.